my name's Evie. I'm training to be a vet and I specialise in large farm animals. As a large animal vet, you can be doing really long hours and driving really long distances, even just between farms. This can mean some really long days. Sometimes it can even be a call in the middle of the night, which at the moment I still find pretty exciting, but my dad tells me grows thin pretty quick. Push him up. One of the most exciting things is a calving. This can mean crawling around in the mud, but the most satisfying thing is pulling out a live calf after hours of hard work. Cows give birth day and night, and sometimes farmers won't find a cow that's struggling to give birth till late in the afternoon, which means you can be there any time of the day. But it makes it even more satisfying when you've worked even harder and you know that the cow is really appreciative of what you've done. Working with large animals, it's important to be strong, but it's even more important to have good technique. Some farmers are a bit surprised when they see a small girl turning up to pull a calf or something that they were struggling to do. It's more about technique though, not just brute force. A fully grown bull can be up to a tonne, and a sick animal is a stressed and scared animal. So it's really important that we're careful about how we manage them to protect ourselves and them. With cattle especially, it's important to remember that they are just so strong and powerful. They can pin you up on a fence within seconds. Normally when we're treating cattle, we put them in a crush, which means that they can't hurt us and they can't hurt themselves. Most of the illnesses we're looking at with large animals are either about reproduction, so them having babies, or about the kind of food they're eating and how well they're growing. A lot of illnesses in animals is similar to us. It means there's bacteria or their diet's just not quite right and it's upsetting them. It's important for us to find out what's going on so that we can change this for them. It's really good to hear some active gut motility in the cow. It means they're digesting their food. Being a vet means you get covered in a lot of wee and poo on a daily basis. A real highlight is getting explosive diarrhoea through your hair, which takes a couple of washes to come out. A farm won't run without healthy animals, and it's part of my job to be able to help farmers to keep their animals feeling great and healthy.
I'm on tour in the outback of New South Wales with my best mate Irving, and it is hot out here. And I'm thirsty. Now, I could just drive to the local shops and buy a bottle of water, but hey, that would be way too easy. 70% of Australia is covered by dry environments, oftenly called the outback. The outback is a beautiful place, but it can also be very dangerous with extreme heat and very, very little water. No water under there. So I'm going to challenge myself to find water. Yes. That away. The first way to find water is by using animals. I know, crazy, right? First, find some animals and see where they're hanging out. But some animals aren't reliable for finding water. Meat eaters like crows and eagles can go without drinking for long periods of time. Kangaroos and parrots need to drink daily, but they are adapted for travelling long distances to find food and water, so they don't always hang around water sources. It works! But things like bees and animals that like to eat seeds and fish need to be near a little water source. So look for those kinds of animals. Go away, fly. to stop stealing my water. It's my sweat. The second way is to draw water from plants. Got any water, buddy? Some plants like eucalyptus, vines and cactus can store water in their roots and branches. So this can be cut up and used for emergency water. Warning, warning, if the plant is coloured or milky sap, the plant is poisonous. Drinking its water will do more harm than good. Eucalypts have poison in their leaves, but the roots and branches are safe to drink from. Thank you. Don't try this at home, kids. There's no phone reception. How am I going to use my phone my water at? Another way to find water is by looking at the landscape. Rainwater can collect in areas like rock crevices, holes in the ground, and on the side of the road. Right, let's go find some rock crevices because I'm getting thirsty.
Nathan, I've got some water here. Do you want it?
No. I have to keep on doing this. It's a challenge. Sure? No. And the fourth and final one is water divining. Some people claim they can find water by walking around with a forked stick or a pendulum.
How old Dan Tucker was a mean old man, washed his face in a frying pan, combed his head with a wagon wheel, died with a toothache in his heel. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper.
These objects are said to react to nearby water, somehow. There is no evidence that water divining actually works. My most accurate piece of advice, always take water with you. Because the outback can get pretty hot, so always be prepared and don't take any chances. Water. Yes. Oh, it's good H2O.
Warm in here, and there's nothing more I like than a nice cool ice cream to cool me down.
Yeah, me too. And ice cream comes from milk, and milk comes from dairy cows, just like this. Cows graze on grass, and they have a special gland in their udder which turns the grass into milk when it's digested.
My name's Shannon Townsend and I'm a doctor with the Royal Flying Doctor Service. So the Royal Flying Doctor Service is an Australia-wide service that was started up originally to provide medical care to people living in rural and remote areas of Australia. My role within the RFDS is as a retrieval registrar, which means working as a doctor for emergency retrievals, meaning that we get a phone call at the drop of a hat and we go out to get people on short notice when they are in times of crisis and when they truly need emergency medical care. We don't just travel within New South Wales, sometimes we can travel all over Australia, and that usually depends on what the weather's doing. I'd always wanted to work for the Royal Flying Doctor Service because it's, quite an iconic Australian organisation. And having grown up on a farm myself and worked, with my family, living and working in rural areas, I always thought it was really important to provide good, solid medical services to people living in rural areas. And I suppose, I could go and do a similar job in the city, but I just don't think that it would be as rewarding for me personally because of my background. Emergency medicine can be really stressful at times. It can be really busy and you can be trying to do lots of things at once. When you look back on it at the end of the day and you think, wow, I managed all of these different things all at once, all by myself, that's really rewarding.
Deep breath.
So emergency medicine very much involves being able to know a little bit about a lot of things, but not being a master of any of them. That was definitely very appealing to me, that variety, and being able to look after people of all different ages with all sorts of problems. Before the plane lands, I still find it quite funny that we have to send someone out to do a roo run, which means driving up and down the airstrip to clear any kangaroos off the airstrip before we land, because in parts of rural Australia, emus, kangaroos, lots of wildlife hopping across the airstrip can be a problem. What my day involves working here at the RFDS is it's a 12-hour day, and I get phone calls from people on stations or at other hospitals that have any sort of problem. They might have been bitten by a snake or come off a motorbike and broken their leg. So they'll give us a call and we'll offer them some advice, or we'll fly out and get them. Hello, Flying Doctors, this is Shannon speaking. So if we decide that someone needs to go onto a big hospital and we need to fly and get them, there's myself, the flight nurse who I work very closely with during the day, a pilot, and we'll prepare everything, get all the equipment that we need, organise ambulances, fly out to get them, and take them back to where they need to go. Along with a team of people, yes, we all work together and we do save lives, and that's really rewarding. And it's even more exciting to do it as a team because you can all celebrate that success together, and you feel like as a group you really achieved something amazing for someone, an outcome that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So it is really satisfying when we're all able to bring all of that knowledge together, save a life, and then think, look at everything I've learnt and how amazing that is to be able to go and do that.
Please listen to me, Faye. I've been thinking, and...
Enough with the vegetable puns. I mean, I love vegetables too, but really...
I'm so confused. I thought you liked my grape jokes.
Avocado, no.
Fine. There's hundreds of vegetables around here that could work as jokes. I could have gone all day.
Yeah, I figured.
Plants are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. At first glance, they're all pretty and delicate, but that's just what they want you to see. If you take a closer look, you'll find out that they're clever, resourceful, and sometimes they're up to some sneaky behaviour. Today, I'm meeting with Dale, who's the head gardener here. He looks after all the plants at the Botanic Gardens in Sydney. Dale is going to take me behind the scenes where he's lined up some smart plants. Let's go take a look. Hi Dale, what have you got to show us?
Hey Lindsay, look at these amazing things. These are ant plants from Cape York Peninsula.
An ant plant? How is that a smart plant, Dale?
Well, firstly, they've evolved to grow like orchids in trees.
Right.
Secondly, if you have a look at this wonderful swollen base here, you'll notice little holes in the stem.
Wow,
There's an ant crawling there.
I saw an ant. What's it doing?
The ants live inside these honeycomb of passages in these swollen base here.
Wow. Does the plant grow the passages?
It does, especially for the ants.
So the plant actually wants the ants living inside it so it can get the the poo and the leftover food from the ants.
Yeah, if you think about where the plant would naturally live in a tree, it's not going to have access to all of the food that soil has in it.
Oh, because it's living up on the tree,
Up in a tree.
not in the ground.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Do you know any other plants that do this? This is amazing.
Funnily enough, if we have a look over here, there's another one that does a similar thing.
Wow.
Look at this amazing thing. Have a look at the two different types of leaves on this plant here. You've got this one here, which is what we could call a traditional leaf. But look at these amazing structures here. If you give one of those a gentle squeeze, you'll find that they're hollow.
Squishy, yeah.
Well, what these particular leaves do is they also provide a home for ants. Have a look at this hole here.
Oh, I can see a little hole in the top. Hello, ants.
The ants go in there and they do exactly the same that do with an ant plant.
Wow. So the plant grows these special leaves that looks like a little sack, and the ants live inside. Do the ants get protected?
Yeah, that's their home.
Oh.
So they'll live in there. But they also provide protection to the plant in that they'll defend the plant from any attack from insects that might eat their leaves.
That might want to eat that plant.
Yes.
Wow, nice ants. So Dale, this is a really smelly plant.
That's right, Lindsay. If we were in here and this plant was flowering, we would be sick.
Really, like...
That's exactly right.
Ugh.
You know why? Because it smells like rotten dead meat.
Oh, gross. Why would it smell like that? Ugh.
So when it's in flower, it needs this beetle to help it produce seeds. So
Beetle likes that smell.
That's exactly right. And what this plant wants is the beetle to come and visit its flower so that it can then take its pollen to another flower so that they can produce seeds.
So the beetle will leave this plant and go to another smelly plant and take the pollen with it.
That's exactly
Wow,
right.
that's a pretty amazing beetle.
It certainly is. You'd say it wouldn't have a sense of smell.
So Dale, that plant didn't smell very nice, but apparently this one actually isn't nice.
That's right, Lindsay. This is the horror movie of the plant world. This is a pitcher plant.
A pitcher plant?
Yes.
Is that the pitcher?
This is the pitcher, yes. And if you have a look, here is the leaf here, and it's attached to the end. And these are pitchers, they're traps. It's trying to trap meat.
So other living things, animals?
Other living things.
What sort of animals will get trapped in there?
Insects, birds, little bats, lizards.
How do they get attracted to this trap? Why do they go in there?
Look at those lovely colourful markings around the top. They're attracted to that.
Okay.
And then they just kind of pop their little head in there. They lose their footing. And if you have a look down in there, it's full of fluid, which is a special digestive fluid, like an enzyme.
Like in our tummy?
Like in our tummy. And the animal then drowns in there because the sides are slippery inside and they can't climb out. Then that fluid there breaks them down, and that's the food that the plant gets.
Dale, I noticed there's a little one growing over there. Would I be able to cut it open, have a look inside?
I'm sure that'll be fine this time.
Oh, thanks, Dale.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to look inside. So I'm about to cut open the pitcher plant trap. Now, I should say it's not named after a picture, like a photograph. It's named after an old-fashioned jug, which was also called a pitcher. And that's what it looks like. Now, we're going to cut it open, but remember, I've got special permission to do this, and you can't just do it in any park. Okay, let's go. So I've opened up the pitcher, and down the bottom of the trap I found all these half-eaten insects. And I can see part of a cockroach wings, and some of the cockroach exoskeleton from near the head, and an eaten ant. There's just a bit of head left. So yeah, this pitcher plant's had a yummy dinner.